I knew a girl in,
that.
I knew a girl in college that did that. That like she didn't want to do laundry or know how to do it, so she just would constantly buy new clothing and like get rid of her dirty stuff.
I mean, I've never known anybody that's done that, but I've heard stories, and that's just like, why? Why would you do that? I've also heard tales of people who, like, they have a whole year's worth of clothes, so they're never wearing the same clothes.
Where the
again?
Heck, do you keep that amount of clothing?
You have a whole room?
Yeah, you kick out your significant other, I guess. I don't know. They don't get
the closet.
other stuff. I don't know.
Listen,
They had a whale amount of clothes, I guess.
Who wants to talk about whale tits? I know Chuck does.
Chuck definitely wants to talk about the whale tits.
If I could.
You could.
Because this movie unlocked, by the way, brothers, sisters, genders, listeners, welcome to another episode of the Comic Book Rundown presents Rundown Reviews. I, of course, am the guy that did this introduction. I am Chuck. I'm joined once again by Ron and by Joe, the guy who actually owns this show. And my personal favorite person of the best network ever created in the entire world, my close personal friend and nobody else's, Chris. Welcome back to the show. It's a Star Trek episode, so obviously we had to bring you on to mainly pad the score, if I had to guess. That's why Joe brings you on. Because otherwise it would get...
He's out of line, but he's not wrong.
Yeah. When I was in 7th grade, if I could. When I was in 7th grade, we had a social studies teacher who we all assumed was pretty mentally ill in a lot of regards. Strange dude, really liked to take psychedelics, we figured out. Was very, very attuned to his heritage of being Native American in our area. We have a quite large what the hell is this? Reserve. For, and I, the life of me, cannot think of what the tribe's called now, but it was very in tune, and he would take us to the reenactment place where he would also participate, and he'd walk around in a loincloth in front of 7-year-olds, which seemed really weird at the time, but a lot of people just wrote it off to him and his authenticity. And one time a student asked, and I want to say his last name was Johnson. Mr. Johnson, do you believe in aliens? And his reply was, well, of course I believe in aliens. How do you think we got whales here? And it was not until this moment in time where I realized that he was not mentally ill. He was just a Star Trek fan.
Is there a difference?
I mean, it's a very, very fine line. I have learned, apparently.
Also not wrong.
This broke my brain for like a hot, because I was unaware of what this movie actually was. But at the treadmill, at the gym, them pretty much bringing up that whales were brought here by aliens or something, and that unlocking this memory in my brain, I almost fell off the treadmill. I literally tripped and almost fell off. We watched Star Trek episode 4.
Be tripping, I guess. I don't know.
Bitches do be tripping. I tell you what. I tell you, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. That's for sure. And I be a hoe and a trick.
Star Trek episode 4, The Voyage Home.
Also known as Star Trek 4, the one with whales.
Yep. Also known as Star Trek 4, everything has Leonard Nimoy's name on it.
Yeah, because he did everything in this movie.
He directed it. He produced it. He executive directed it. He executive produced it. He starred in it. He also executive starred, direct produced it in it. And dude, his name was 70% of the credits going through.
That is a thank you from Paramount for how successful Star Trek 3 was. And
yeah.
and apparently, what was it? Shatner didn't want to come back. He wanted more money,
I saw that.
as did all the cast. So you know what Paramount did instead, besides pay them? they decided, let's get a new thing together. So when this stuff peters out and we're not willing to pay their salaries, we have a new cheaper cast. And that's how the Next Generation was started during the production of this.
Brilliant.
Smart. Did not know that.
Yep. It premiered in 1987 and as a result of everyone demanding too much money.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome. I like that.
And I mean, our
so
generation. Well, I mean that's Paramount for you. Well, companies for you. But I mean, our generation. Like I was talking with Ron about this last night. Like we're the ones that grew up with the Next Generation. That was our Star Trek.
Yeah.
Now, funny enough, like I haven't seen all of Next Generation. I've seen episodes here and there.
Same. That's how I watched it. But that's also, I think, what made it appeal to me the most was that I didn't get too deep into it.
Well, plus there were also full, 42-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Versus the 20-something that we had from the original series. So they could actually develop and build a story.
Mm-hmm. And it was very episodic. I wouldn't recommend if people want to get into that. Just trudge through first 2 seasons, and then it'll actually start getting better. Chuck will actually watch it all for you and do a new podcast about it.
At the end of every month, of course, we have a new show called Getting Franchised, where Joey and I will be reviewing season 6. We'll push it to season 6, where we'll watch the entire Next Generation seasons.
Oh God, okay, that's gonna be something.
That's gonna be fun.
Let's see if we remember it.
We won't watch them canonically, though. Chronically. What's the word I'm looking for? Chronologically. Thank you. We won't watch them chronologically. I will look up a list of this is the way you should watch it, much like people do with Star Wars and the episode season, the episodes and stuff, where it's all over the place.
So you're referring more to watching it. Not chronologically. It would be the watching it.
Right. We're not going to watch it that way. We're not going to watch it in order. We're going to watch these are the episodes that we recommend, the order in which you watch them. So we get all the best ones, and then by the end of the season, we just hate ourselves because they're all just the crap episodes that nobody wanted to watch.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Do not look forward to that.
Sounds terrible.
That also sounds like 5 years away, and I'll probably forget it.
Joey, cover your ears for a minute. Guys, this show ain't going to go for 60 seasons. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hold on now.
Hey, listen, I'll have you know that the comic book rundown has been going strong for, 8 years now?
Yeah.
Strong is a relative word.
Hey, we still have a pulse. Where's everybody else at?
No, I just meant specifically getting franchised. Look, I made a pot pie today that I used an entire one stick of butter. So it is. I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. Boy.
Can we get your headset and your skull though?
Oh, I have always said that if I died,
then Joey can just set it on his hand and talk like it's you talking.
Yeah, I've always said that I wanted to be neck down, donated to science, because I figured they're going to want to get in there and look around. But my head, I wanted to be loaded into a cannon and shot out into sea, because I just think it would look cool to see my flaming head fly out into the sunset. But if Joey wants the skull, so he has to post-mortem still make me do this show, I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'll allow it.
All right. I'll write that in next year's contract.
Gentlemen, boys and girls.
So let's go ahead and get into this.
I didn't have a father.
You really want me to hit that soundbite again? I will. I got no problem with it.
All right.
Anyway, so Star Trek episode 4. This one, this episode.
This was a heist movie.
It was.
Yes.
It was a poorly planned heist movie.
Definitely poorly planned. However, it did have the story was a little more sound than the last couple of episodes.
That's a really low bar.
Sure.
Jump over there.
But I mean, even at that, there still was some problems with it. But I definitely had a little more fun with this one. Not a lot.
Sure. First off, the movie starts with we want to send our thoughts and prayers to the people of the Challenger.
Yeah.
Of course. Because
which that
again,
threw me off like crazy because I was like, I forgot that was even a thing. Yeah.
but it also started out with another basically no-name crew getting destroyed by a random
Not destroyed, just becoming inoperable.
Life
pretty
support,
sure
they don't
died.
need it.
No, they
Yeah.
didn't.
Huh?
They didn't die.
Are you sure?
Just everything.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, to the point of we didn't see bodies, I don't think anyone ever said, did anyone check on them? Did
Ha
anyone,
ha ha.
That's because they weren't the crew of the Enterprise, so nobody cared about them.
It's true. That's
Not
true.
wrong on that.
I mean, even when the Klingon ambassador, when they're talking about like, dude, you took out one of our ships, and then you're saying that Kirk wasn't justified in going after your, Klingon warmongers, and he's like, well, that's not the point. The point is,
Yeah. That was interesting. That's also very normal for ambassadors, especially Klingons. Like, oh yeah, we're allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do it to us, kind of thing. Yeah, don't know what that sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, listening to the Klingons like kind of go to the like council and stuff. I was kind of on the Klingon side about this.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, the charges are all valid that've been brought against the crew. I mean, they all really, in the end, rest on Kirk, and yes, they're following their captain or their admiral's orders, but it all stems from him.
Yeah,
100%.
maybe it's just because I have a personal vendetta against Kirk's, but I was just kind of like, no, I kind of don't. I think they're kind of right in this one. Like, maybe they're not going about it the right way.
Yeah,
but actually they are because they went to the council. They didn't just like, fuck it, we're just going to manhunt and not follow rules.
But that was after what's his name killed a whole ship and then killed another guy on that planet to Kirk's son to try and get this weapon. Then they're like, "Oh, we should probably."
But Batman does it, and it's okay.
Did I ever say it was okay? I've never said it was okay.
Joey, you have a tattoo of Batman. It counts. So you think
I got
everything
tattoos of Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman,
it all
Flash,
counts.
and Cyborg.
You think that they're all good people.
I got a tattoo of my dead parents. You gonna talk about my dead parents killing people?
Joey, there was good people on both sides. Remember? Never forget that. Okay. We know how much you look up to that. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh boy.
Joey does not look up to that. This is my one disclaimer of episode. Joey does not look up to that. He's not a pedophile. He isn't into interspecies erotica. And although Kirk did want to fuck that whale, right? We all in agreement that Kirk wanted to fuck the whale?
I was pretty sure he wanted to fuck, what's her name?
But
obviously. Yeah. No.
And with the whale?
No. Okay. The way he was watching Gracie specifically, I think he was trying to fuck the whale. It wouldn't be the first time he fucked an alien.
He may have confused the blowhole for something else.
I thought it was more Spock. Wow. But okay.
I mean, Spock was just talking, You know
what you came into when you got to the show, Chris?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like, Spock isn't even human anymore in this, except for like the very tail end where he has to guess or whatever, and that's a human.
He's unsure of his
reaction.
feelings because he doesn't know what they mean again. Because he needed to reboot his character.
Right.
But I fell asleep very early
location and reboot.
I fell asleep very early on in this movie, and I woke up, and Kirk was talking about humpback whales and time travel and flying around the sun, and I'm like, okay, hold on a second, this has got to be some kind of weird joke, or I like missed something. Went back, and it still didn't make sense, but I get it.
Yeah. So
did you? Because even I was like, I don't understand how we got here. How did we get from point A to point B like that?
In the 80s, killing whales was a really big thing that they were really like working on. So that was what they grasped as the message they were going to send with this movie.
Yeah, and the big ecological time. And this point in the 80s. I mean, look at Superman, the quest for peace.
Exactly, with all the nuclear weapons.
And nobody still got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it. Nuclear weapons, they're still hunting whales on a regular basis. Like, whale
Yeah.
hunting hasn't actually
yeah, I
stopped
think
in any
40,
conceivable
40
way.
years later for both those, and everything's still happening exactly the same way.
Yep.
So,
Thanks a lot, Shatner.
Chris, I do want to ask because I know you haven't. If you have seen the original show, it's been a while. But when did they go back in time in the show? Because it sounded like they did it before.
A few times. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. Oh, you don't have to. Actually, I was thinking more off the top of your head, not like.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't know it quickly off the top of my head.
Okay.
But give me a minute. I'll let you know.
Because I recall one episode. I think it was one of the times when my dad was watching it, and I just happened in on him at one point in time. And like I remember Spock being in this room reading a book, and he had his head covered with like a beanie hat. And then Kirk had come in, and he was unsure if he could take his hat off or not. But because at one point, when they're talking to, what was her name? I can't remember her name. Gail? No.
You talking about the
lady from Seventh Heaven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Chucky's mom, or Andy's mom.
Andy's mom.
Yeah. She may be holding the record for most.
Jillian
Taylor.
She may be holding the record for most times on like that we've watched.
Oh God, no. We've got more. I'd have to look, but
women of female actresses.
I have to check, but I feel like we've had.
Yeah, you're gonna need to do that and get back to me, please.
Eventually,
right, give me a rundown.
The three that came to my mind. There may be more. It took me a minute. Just the one I remembered was like City on the Edge of Forever.
Okay.
Tomorrow's Yesterday and All Our Yesterdays. Time travel is just big in Star Trek. They like that's why at one point way later on there was something called the Temporal Wars, and there's like a prime directive in the sense of like it became so prominent travel back in time, the Starfleet had to create a rule on the sense of if you do time travel, this is what you are allowed and not allowed to do.
Okay. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good time travel story, as long as you don't mess it up, mess up the timeline kind of thing, or basically create a paradox.
This would be a good one for Chuck. The Naked Time's another one, you know.
Oh, hey.
This crew right here though had no sense of preserving the timeline at all,
and that's what I'm saying. Because what do we get? We get Scotty and Bones going over to some construction place, which apparently the good old safety videos be damned. They were just being carried on the forks, being driven around.
Well, that was in the 80s. That was normal.
That's when the safety videos were being made because of things like that. Yes. But yeah, those guys in particular have this new guy create this not
well, he didn't create it. They gave him the formula to make the clear aluminum, I think is what they called it.
It wasn't called clear aluminum, it was something aluminum.
What was it? It
transparent
was
aluminum.
Transparent aluminum. There we
go.
You know what transparent means, Joey?
I do know what transparent means. He was a guy on The Boys. He didn't last long.
He was see-through, Joey. He was clear somewhat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just in case you were getting confused.
Anyway,
in case that wasn't clear.
As aluminum.
Got him!
Wow. Why do I have you two on again?
Because you love us.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. I'm sorry. This is
I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah, those two. They gave the guy the formula, and he ends up creating it because they have it by the end, I think.
Well, no, they used the regular plexiglass that he had.
Oh, okay.
They gave him the formula in exchange for the plexiglass they needed for
what
the.
It was. Okay, to build the little
aquarium. But even like Bones is like, well, didn't you just ruin like that? And he's like, well, what if this is the guy that was supposed to create it anyways, and like this is how he learned how to create it?
But that's a paradox.
Yeah, he doesn't know. They said, how do we know he didn't create it? I was like, that's kind of a big deal, but all right, whatever, we'll go with it.
And then Chekhov being arrested and then disappearing.
Yeah. Well, he didn't disappear. He got stolen.
But he's in the system. That's all I'm saying is
Yeah,
they had to look him up. So then he's here 1 minute and then disappears the next.
Right? And you'd think that like in the future they would be like, oh, Chekhov, why does that name sound so familiar? And then go through the archives. Eventually somebody would find it because of the way our culture is.
Well, our culture now, not the culture in the 23rd century.
I mean, they have to go through us to get there.
I mean, it's also very interesting. Let's put the Russian on a United States naval vessel during the height of the Cold War.
80s.
Yeah,
nuclear vessel.
This
nuclear
entire
is silent.
movie.
Remember, the S is silent.
My bad.
Nuclear. Yeah, nuclear Johnson. This that's a Deadlock reference. Sorry. The boys are back in town. What can we say? Chris, in about a month, that's going to make a lot more sense to you. Okay. So this entire movie's whole like vibe is like weirdly revert, like because they went back in time, but it's boomers don't understand the generation, like the next generation, because it's just like, I don't understand why they act like this. Why are they so crude? Why do they do this? Why do they do that? Like I more and more understand why this version of Star Trek fans are so conservative based into like the lens of 2025, like current day lens, right? Because like all of the stuff that they watched and have consumed and absorbed and decided to make their entire identities is just like the same crap that like I hear from like the boomer generation and the much later like Gen X generation of stuff. But just like, oh, they don't know anything. Oh, they're so stupid. Oh, they don't do this way. Blah, blah, blah. Like it was just, I don't know, like with them making fun of Spock the whole time of just being like a hippie religious dude, would just screamed like not understanding like Gen Z's like freedom feeling and stuff like that I see a lot. It's super, or what we experienced in like our emo phase of like the millennials. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It was just like eye roll shot. And groan like at like every joke. You know what I mean?
Well, I think I'm not justifying it. I from what I remember when they were going into production with this, that they felt the last two movies were a little heavy and they wanted to. Because, I mean, really, there's not, I mean, outside of Kirk, who's always the bad guy, the secret bad guy in all these movies, let's be honest, there really isn't a true evil, like, thing they're working against, because the what was it, the alien ship that's wreaking havoc on the future Earth, they're just trying to communicate. They have no idea what they're, the havoc they're causing, which begs the question in sense of, like, when they're doing this, don't they see what's going on to the planet? What kind of aliens are these?
Maybe it was a recorded message and it like was waiting for a return reply.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe.
So the aliens that showed, because we never actually, did we actually ever get to see the aliens?
Nope.
No. Big old Tylenol ship.
Okay. So that was my other question. Was the giant like elongated thing the ship, or was it that? Okay, and then what was that like blue, like the glowing orb thing? Yeah,
that was like the transmitter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. They didn't explain any of that, so I had no idea what was going on.
Nope.
I was very confused. I was waiting to see space whales. Like I thought they were literally whales. I thought we were going to see organic flying ships. I thought we were going to get Starship Troopers. I'll be honest. I thought I was going to get Starship Troopers now.
If you want to see organic flying whales, I think that's one of the Star Wars.
Troopers? That movie rocks.
Yeah, it's my second favorite movie of all time, Chris. Like, I'm very excited that it got into the list.
Starship it's on the list. Yeah, it's on the list.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Sorry. What did you say there, Ron? Sorry, we were talking all over each other.
Oh, I said that if you wanted to see the organic flying whales in space, I think there's a Star Wars cartoon episode about it.
Not only the cartoon, I think they were in Ahsoka as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So I'm so tapped out on Star Wars at this point. There's too much. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, but Andor's back.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut my
What?
arm off. I don't want to be a fan anymore. I'm just gonna cut my arm off.
I mean, if you do, I'll put it on the list.
I actually think cutting your arm off makes you a diehard fan. Luke, Anakin.
No, that's his hand. They didn't cut the arm off. Well, Anakin
well,
definitely got his arm cut off. My bad. A couple times.
Yeah. I do love those movies. Okay, I'll keep my arm.
Your arm's like, oh, thank God.
Listen, getting it cut off wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Oh no, that's my good arm. Okay, no, I better keep it. I have to learn how to do everything with my other hand.
Anyway, I do want to bring up the punk guy on the bus, mainly because Chris, and you can fill in the blanks on this one. He showed up again in Picard.
Yes, he did, because like with everything, as I say, time travel is a big part of Star Trek. In second season of Picard, they travel back into San Francisco again. This hodgepodge crew that Jean-Luc has assembled, and happens to see this same, and it's the same actor too, on the bus as well. They were able to dig him up,
which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
because I think like the picture I saw was like he saw something and he's like, yeah, or like he remembered the past, and he's like, I will definitely turn this off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just gotta look. You just gotta give a look, and there you are.
See, look, but he learned.
Exactly.
Isn't that what
character
we want?
Growth. Yeah, we always want character growth.
I just find it funny that I find it awesome that they were able to get the same guy too, though. You know. All right, so I mentioned Chekhov earlier. When he is trying to escape the
vessel,
the vessel, he falls over like one of the sides. He fell like what, maybe 2 stories, 20 feet or something.
Oh, rough.
Give or take, yeah,
roughly. And they were acting like he was about ready to die.
Well, he landed on his head, so luckily his body made the fall okay.
Oh, okay. I guess that tracks.
Yeah, isn't that how that works? I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's how that works.
I've seen people jump off of their roofs and land on their bodies and be okay.
Yeah. Did you see the one where the dude?
Have you never seen parkour? Wrap? He just parkoured himself. He just but he just barely taps and then rolls and he's fine.
Well, he didn't roll though. He hit. He smacked.
Well, we don't know that. We just saw the end result. We didn't get to see him fall. For all we know, he went into a roll because he was doing parkour, and when he rolled through it, he slipped and smacked his head.
A key part of parkour is you have to say parkour as you're doing it, or else it
exactly
doesn't work.
If you don't know it's parkour, if he doesn't say parkour.
Well, that was before they named it parkour.
Right.
But he's from the future where he would have known it was called parkour.
Now, see, they lost that. Kind of like
I was gonna say they lost that. Yeah.
Well, remember, even if you hit your head really hard against things, or someone slams it against a fridge or a side of a table, you just get a black eye and come back, and you're alive. Joe will know what that means.
I understood that reference.
Thanks, Cap.
Also, the size of the Klingon ship was definitely not consistent.
It was like the TARDIS. The inside was way bigger than the outside.
No, I'm talking about the outside. The outside was not big.
That's what I'm saying.
Very beginning. What I'm saying at the very beginning, when all of the Vulcans are like reloading it and do everything, like they are half the ship. Like their size to the ship wasn't right. And then by the very end, when the ship is flying to stop the whalers, it is like 3 times the size of that boat that they're on. So either Vulcans.
So you remember the technology that Krang had inside the robot thing, where he could make it grow and shrink? Klingons got that and put it in their ship.
Okay, that
good old Klingons
makes so much more sense somewhere.
They cling.
I thought it was interesting that they used still shots for like the wide ship, like when they were like repairing the ship or whatever to get it to go and everything. It was like a very like painted picture.
I think I think it was a green screen that they just put the ship on, and then they had a set of stairs that led behind the green screen.
Right, but like when it was super wide and you could see like little people moving, it was very clear that it was a green screen. But like they would show the whole mosaic. Yeah, it was like a mosaic painting.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
Yeah,
it was
but it's also
right.
not.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's also not unheard of. Like I feel like we've seen a few different movies do that already, but especially I feel like in the 80s they did that a lot.
Yeah,
to try and cut down on cost.
Well, cut down on cost, and also it was probably 1,000 times easier to do it that way. And also, technology in high definition didn't exist. You know what I mean? So like it probably did not stick out as bad. Watching professional wrestling from the 90s, it is amazing how terrible it looked because it was all shot for like a tiny little like TV, like 13-inch television.
Yeah.
And now you take all that old stuff and you make it in high definition, and it looks like you can see all the bells and whistles. You know what I mean? Like it looks terrible.
That's really more just TV in general from the 90s, because I've gone back and seen, like, I mean, if we were to rewatch any of the actual Star Trek show or even Next Generation, like it's the leather box. Well, actually, I'm rewatching Smallville right now, and those first couple of seasons were like leather boxed on the sides, and it was not great. It doesn't hold up.
It's very strange. It's very strange.
Yeah. Ron, you got anything else?
Oh, I've got a lot of notes.
Okay, go ahead, because I'm basically done. I did a lot.
When they are building the tank inside the ship, right, and the helicopter comes and drops off the plexiglass that Sulu stole.
Yeah.
And what's her face is outside yelling. Now there's a helicopter right above Scotty's head.
Mm-hmm.
Helicopters are loud.
A little bit.
She is down on the ground. He hears her, but Kirk, who is standing right, 10 feet away from the intercom that is blasting her, yelling and banging and on the side of the thing, didn't hear her until after Scotty said, "Hey, Admiral, we've got a company."
He's got great hearing because he's in the engine room constantly, so his hearing is very acute.
No, he has very selective hearing. He was too focused on trying to bang whatever girl he was talking to in that moment that nothing else mattered around him. And then when he realized, that there was somebody else trying to get his attention who also had a vagina, he then could magically hear her. I'm pretty sure
I thought that was the girl he was trying to bang, though.
No, yeah, but there might have been somebody else inside the ship at that point in time.
Right, there was somebody else inside the ship. I think it was probably a horror or something he was trying to slam in.
No.
He may have been sitting there thinking about the whales, too.
I was going to say, it could have been the whales, too.
Okay,
could have been the whales. He did, again, widely known, Kirk does want to fuck a whale, so.
Yeah, he said it top of the show, so.
Yeah, it's canon.
Yeah, we were just talking about the ship flying past the whaler vessel, right?
Yeah.
So with the when you get the first person view of that, not only would they have hit the ship with their ship, but the blast from their thrusters would have thrown all of those guys off the ship like it was throwing all the shit around when they landed it in Central Park or wherever the hell they landed it. Not Central Park,
whatever
Golden Gate Park.
Yeah. No, you're not I noticed that too, because how close they were. They should have, if they didn't hit it, just them flying past as close as they were should have had some sort of wave effect.
I mean,
blown them off.
Speaking of that park, that is a populated area. Nobody walked into that. Nobody walked into the invisible ship.
Nobody questioned the smashed trash can that was laying there, and
nobody questioned that.
Nobody saw the garbage men see it, and then nope, we're out.
Now here's the thing. Here's our two things. One, it's San Francisco. All right, lot of people who do some illegal substances that they might just be part of their bad trip. Two, if this was placed in New York, definitely no one would notice because it's just how much crazy stuff happens in New York. They'll just be like, oh, it's part of the culture there. So
yeah,
I did like how I know California, but specifically Los Angeles and stuff had a very New York vibe in the 80s. It was very much like punk in the jungle and all that stuff. But this was San Francisco, which is like yuppie town area. So I found it funny that that still like was trying to exist. But also it was San Francisco, and this ship lands on the ground and creates like a concave into the ground. Like it
Yeah.
was that what was some
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
yeah, that ground is not saturated. It's not like it's drier than dog shit. Like there's no fucking way that it would have just created a crater like that in that ground. I just
Does it? Oh yeah, no, it doesn't rain really.
no, it never really like rains like 4 times a year, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, when they get
Maybe-
rain, they get it, and then it floods, and then they're
Maybe-
like panicking.
Maybe it was just after a rainfall. We don't know.
Actually, it's probably just the fact that the ship weighs so much that it just crushed the ground underneath it flat.
But then would it not just crush anything where anytime they landed?
Well, in the future, they have special spots to land it on that can handle the weight.
Now, when they go to other planets, Chris,
True.
don't they go to all like and just land wherever the fuck they want because they have carte blanche or whatever?
Yeah, but it's not a
Yeah,
park.
sometimes they
okay?
do. I can't say it's. Yeah, sometimes they do. It's
It's
Captain Kirk. He does what he wants.
That's
Yeah,
true.
he lands his ship wherever he can find port.
Yeah.
That's an innuendo.
Like a whale.
No, that was in its endo that he was trying to go.
Anyway.
My only other note is that they were able to reconstruct a brand new Enterprise in what, 4 days?
Something like that.
Because there's not a
Yeah.
time
Not
lapse
even that.
between.
Well, we don't know how long it was because Spock's dad was able to get from Vulcan to Earth, which who knows how long that actually takes, a couple days there. I don't know. I'm gonna say
But
a week.
regardless, okay, but in the first movie when they were re-outfitting the Enterprise, or was that the second movie? Whichever movie where they were rebuilding,
First one.
and he's like, yeah, it's been like months and months that they've been working on this.
Hmm.
And now it's just like 4 days and you got a whole new
Well,
ship.
it's the Enterprise, what, 1701A or whatever.
Yeah.
So like they were building a second ship because they knew once Kirk took command of the other one, they're like, oh, he's gonna fuck this up. We should probably make a new one right now. It's like making the second Death Star while you're building the first Death Star.
Fair. It's what I call the contact theory of method at that point.
Yes,
Just
there we
saying,
go.
Why build one when you could build two for twice the price?
On the opposite side of the planet with nobody knowing. Yeah.
Yes.
And have it draw the power from the sun, which also then somehow destroys the sun in the process.
He just wants to hold it in the palm of his hand.
But also, did they put the NC-17 warning on there because of Kirk?
Maybe. Yeah, so that's all I got. That's all you got.
That was my last note, yeah.
Either one, Chris, Chuck, you guys got anything else?
No. The only other thing I noticed was that Shatner was clearly like his fragile masculinity was really setting in because he like dyes his hair and he tries to look younger in this.
I mean, he's been wearing a girdle since the first one, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know, but
At
like
least the second one.
specifically his hair was like a darker color than what it was. Like he was trying to like hide the fact that he was aging so much.
Yeah.
In this, and that just really made me laugh. You could also tell that there clearly was some animosity between Kirk and between Shatner and Nimoy in this because every scene that they do together just has this like weird tension that I think is like real. Like I think that was a shoot. I think they were actually like hating.
It's because they used to be friends, and now that Spock has been rebooted, they don't get along as well together.
Well, he's referring more to
I know
the actors.
that. I'm just saying that.
Which honestly is probably due to Shatner wanting more money.
Well, they all wanted more money.
They all want more money, but obviously, if you don't have one, you're not going to have the rest of them. You know.
No,
Especially
it'd be interesting to make this whole movie without Kirk. Just saying, what happened to Kirk? Oh, he got left on Vulcan. Where Saavik decided
Or-
to, I'm going to stay here. Yeah, because you're.
Or not even that.
You,
They could
you have Spock's baby. We're not going to acknowledge that.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have honestly just been like, oh well, we had to hand him over to the Klingons.
I mean, they could have. I know nowadays, and that's really more so in like say a TV show season, more than movies. But you have like a main cast member for that season, and then they don't come back. It's like, oh yeah, he had to go do this. They give some excuse why that main character is not going to be in the show anymore. Movie wise, sometimes they just recast them. They're here, deal with it.
Are we talking about like
like Rhodey and
that's what I was thinking of, Rhodey.
Yeah. That was probably the best way that a recast has been handled. Now, I mean, it's been done numerous times before, and they don't ever acknowledge it.
The Mummy 3.
Like I said, they don't ever acknowledge it.
No, they quasi acknowledge it when it shows, like when she's first showing up on the screen.
But I haven't seen that one. I've only seen that one once.
She says something about people don't always appear as you expect them to, or something, and then it shows her face.
Okay.
Anyways,
well, I mean, we'll get to it at some point. So
we're gonna get there. Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm excited about that too.
Okay. So, kill count 1, and it's only because they re-showed the Klingons dying in the Enterprise at the beginning.
Did you just not want to say 0? Did you just not want to say 0?
Oh, we've had 0 before.
But have we ever had this happen before, where they re-show a clip from a previous movie of a death?
I feel like during RoboCop, we've had it. I know we've had it before. Yeah. It was just a question if I actually counted it or not, which those were bigger numbers, so I couldn't remember if I did or not.
Now stay tuned for Undiscovered Country. You're going to see reused footage again of this, of not of this, but of other things, because Star Trek is infamous for reusing stuff.
Yeah.
Love that for us.
Not as bad as Robin Hood.
Yeah, any limb counts?
0 limbs. We're lost. Got nothing. So
I did like when McCoy got really his whole big scene in the hospital. That was pure genius on his part.
That lady that he's like, here's this, take this and call me in the morning. Doc regrew my kidney. Doc regrew my kidney. Like I laughed at that. That was fun.
Dialysis. What are we, like in the dark ages or something?
There was a moment when I was watching this where I felt like if I was going to relate this to like, oh, this is like today's like current events, that like Kirk was Trump, Spock was Elon Musk, and then all of us were just Bones, just being like, what is happening? What are we doing here? Why is this continuing? Why are we letting you guys make decisions? Like that's what it just felt like in the first like part of that movie. I think growing up and becoming an adult is kind of understanding why Bones hates everybody so much. But also he's weirdly racist to Spock, which is also super weird.
I wouldn't say racist, but he definitely does like dogs on him more than he probably should.
He hates that dude. He hates that dude.
I mean, he has used slurs against him before, so
yeah.
Yeah, but like he hates him because of his like essentially he's a ethnicity of being this like alien dude. He just doesn't like him. He regularly calls him a green blood or whatever and stuff. Like it's weird. He makes it weirdly racial for no reason.
You know what? Like, you're not wrong. I guess I never really thought about it that way.
Listen, Chuck, they had to make him relatable to people in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, okay?
One thing
once again, yeah.
One thing we forgot to mention was the very end when the whole crew gets sentenced, and once again, because Kirk saved the Union or the everything, he gets let off with a slap on the wrist.
He got demoted.
How like life.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he got demoted, which is what he actually wanted.
Yeah, so he can actually captain the ship.
Gets to command an entirely new ship because, again, how like life.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so what if he's actually like the smartest mastermind in this show, and he's been making everything like go to his plan because his plan was to get the ship in the first place. Like maybe he is a super genius and he just pretends to be a horny bastard.
No, that's when you start seeing that scene from The Usual Suspects where the guy's looking at the all the stuff on the cork board. It's like, oh my god, I figured it all out and it's too late.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I was watching like this happening. Like it was like Kirk already knew that he was like probably, it was like, oh, we saved him, so they're just gonna like write us off because he was like so willing to go back and do all the, you know, and face the trial and stuff.
It's the honorable thing to do.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he wants to do the honorable ship. Meanwhile, you sabotage the Kobayashi Maru. You sabotage the Kobayashi Maru, you son of a bitch. Like, don't even start with this honorable nonsense, okay? I was there on the treadmill after I've already fallen off, and I'm like, I get to this scene, and I literally said, they're just gonna fucking let him off. I'm about to get so fucking mad. And I was right. And I got so fucking mad. I was like, of course the privileged white old man gets like no punishment for the bullshit. He like it completely like voids the bullshit. You have to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point of this federation and shit? Is to like hold people accountable when they do bad things so we can have peace.
Supposed to.
Where's the 10 lashes? I want to watch Starship Troopers. Give me the 10 lashes.
I gotta check the list to see where we're at on that one. But anyway, while I'm doing that, Ron, what do we got for a bingo?
We've got government interference, comic logic, ID revealed to a love interest, ID revealed to an enemy, actor plays himself, animal cruelty, unexplainable science, product placement, and misogyny.
Unexplainable science, that's basically all of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And misogyny.
Oh. That too.
Yeah. It was funny watching this in the like watching this in the lens of 2025 and them like talking about like, oh, the rehabilitation of like the animals and stuff like that. When like we know nowadays that like the rehabilitation stuff actually isn't that great. Like it is not actually good for the animals, and that they can't just set them. It wasn't that because I think her excuse of like letting them go was that they would just get hunted anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, no, they become so essentially domesticated that they don't know how to survive in the wild, and they typically get eaten by predators. That's
or
why
they just die. Like
right. So because they never learned how to. Especially if you get them young, then they don't learn how to hunt for themselves, and learn survival tactics that they need to learn as by their parents at a young age. So like rehabilitation stuff now has to like essentially they just need to keep the animal forever in rehabilitation, otherwise they like won't survive when they go into it. So it was just funny watching them being like, yeah, we're gonna throw them out there, but they'll probably get hunted still. It's like, no, you fucked them up from the start. Mother from Seventh Heaven.
Mother from Chucky.
Mother from Chucky, who also cared about her kid, cared about this kid. Also was kind of weird that she considered them her child. I'm always weirded out by people who think their animals are their kids.
They're fur babies.
What are you talking about? The cats are my babies. I feed
but you
them,
also
I take care of them.
But you also have children, so it's like different. Like,
look, but you also say some people don't want to have kids.
Listen, I don't disagree, but like but then you make it weird when you like buy them costumes and you post about how you deserve a gift on Mother's Day because you have a cat.
That's
the cat,
fucking
weird.
Okay.
All right, you are specifically talking about somebody. Who is this person, Chuck, and which ex is it?
First off, it's my mother. Second off, it is also one of my exes. Third off, it's
your
also
mom is
like,
one of your exes, Chuck?
No, my mom is one of my very specific. Does specifically apply to one of my exes. And also, I don't know, every white conservative 40-year-old who can't find a man to put a child inside of her. You know what I mean? At least in New York. I don't know what goes on in Illinois or whatever, but
Yeah, neither do we.
well, maybe Chris lives in Illinois.
He does not.
No, I don't.
Oh,
He
that's
actually,
fine.
yeah. And the Hoozle. So, Spawn Cape.
Spawn Cape.
Oh, Spawn Cape. Look, this looks like trash as per
Yeah,
usual.
yeah.
It was. I mean, it was. I thought the mosaics were interesting. I don't know. The whales looked weird in the tanks when they were on the ship. Like that looked weird. It almost seemed like a downgrade. It was like they had to pay more for the actors, so therefore their budget for special effects was smaller or something. Like I thought the ship looked bad when it was flying the alien whale ship and stuff. I'm gonna say like 3 out of I don't know the 42.
That's the opposite, Chuck. That means it's better.
No, three and 42 are pretty close together. In the grand scale of like 1 to like a gajillion or whatever.
I guess by that logic, sure.
Yeah.
Oh. You are no Vulcan. That's all I have to say.
Why are you poking logic? What are we, episode 178? Like we're poking logic into this now? It's never made sense, Ron.
145.
No, I just but a lot of the times you forget and you flip them back and forth. I was just making sure that you knew that you did them on the wrong.
No. No, I stand by this one. I stand by this one. For Chris, I'm going to stand by this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Just for me.
Mhm.
All right, Chris, not a Muppet. You said you had something before we started recording.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Spock. Just for
Spock?
just for him having to interact and do the nerve pinch on the guy and stuff, and the
which was the worst nerve pinch I've ever seen. Like all he does is like touches him with like full open hand, just like.
But then him jumping into the water, and the water could be a Muppet too with the Muppet whales. You know,
I like that.
My not a Muppet was Chekhov, because watching him, get chased by Muppets would have been hilarious. And then the Muppet doctor's working on him.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
That's a good one. Yeah, no, those are both good.
Chuck?
I mean, I got it for me, look, it's always going to resort to which one's going to fuck the Muppet. So it's going to be Kirk because he's going to fuck the whale Muppet. Like it's right there.
Like you just walk in and he's got the handhold. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I do like.
My question is, are they still whale-sized Muppets, or do they like scale themselves down? Would they be like the size? Yeah. Would they be like like a normal a Muppet-sized Muppet?
If you got like Big Bird and Snuffleupagus, like they have people-sized Muppets.
Human size. They were still human size.
Yeah, but they're still Muppets technically.
Yeah, I know, but like a whale is bigger than Big Bird.
But what I'm saying is they could make one. They could make one whale size. They could also make one human size. That way, or I mean, even making it just regular puppet size.
I do feel like it would be pretty on brand if they had one whale puppet made and they just kept reshooting that footage and then also green screened like the same footage on top of the same footage to make it look like there were two whales.
Or they make the hand puppet sized whale Muppet, right? And then they green screen that behind them to where it looks like a whole ass.
I like that one too.
They have but they have one Muppet. But the green screen shots are just regular whales because they weren't going. So it's just like, but they're like, wow, look at this technology that we have. Whoa.
I like the idea of the cop that Chekhov and Uhura run up to not being a Muppet, only because he's just staring at them, wondering why these Muppets want nuclear weapons.
Who apparently was an actual cop, was not a paid actor, and has come up to him, and that is genuine reaction.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
I love the idea that they probably didn't have permits to shoot that.
Yeah, that
Apparently
probably too.
doesn't.
Yeah. I love. Yeah, I also would love to watch him try to process. Why is this Russian asking me where the missiles are?
Need to look for nuclear vessels. What?
I love it.
Oh man, that's great.
All right, that brings us to our score. So, Chris, out of 10, what do you give this?
Give it a 6.
6. Alrighty.
Chuck,
Chuck,
I appreciate it, but I like my Star Trek with a little more action.
Yeah.
With all that whale fucking, that didn't get you going, Chris. That's weird.
Not my tempo. Not my tempo. I'm
okay.
not here to shame anyone in what they do with their lives.
I am. Don't fuck animals, you sick fucks.
That makes one of us. Okay. Is this a Star Trek movie? Yeah, sure. Why not? It seems like these are all designed to essentially just be stretched out episodes, where they get to like do more or whatever. So I will say this: I enjoyed this one more than I've enjoyed any of the other ones so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe the humor helped a little bit or something. I'm not really sure.
The lighter tone.
Yeah, and I think Nimoy actually did a good job in all of the roles that he was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't hate this, but it was like I was indifferent about it. I just knew I had to watch it, and I was gonna sit and watch it. I still find Kirk to be the worst character. I'm finding Shatner to be the worst actor that we've experienced anywhere on this show yet, or yeah, in the show. I would have also liked. I would have liked more of the other characters. I feel like we're not getting a lot of like Chekhov and Bones and Scotty and Uhura. Like we're not getting any of them without having to have like Kirk or Spock specifically. Like we got little tastes of it here, but like they were like total of like what, maybe 40 minutes of the movie collectively across.
They weren't there.
Yeah, and it would have been cool to like get more of that because I genuinely think I'm going to enjoy those characters better. I don't know. 3.81. I'm never gonna watch this again, but I'm also not gonna put it like it's not passing the Janero continuum. I'm not gonna subject this to my friends to even to make fun of at a holiday party. But I didn't hate it as much as I hated everything else that we watched so far.
Sure.
I won't even give you a strike, Joey.
I greatly appreciate that.
No strikes this week. No strike this week. It wasn't that bad.
I greatly appreciate that because the next like 3 are very questionable.
Oh, god damn it. Okay.
Well, questionable in my eyes because I've never seen them. So we'll see. Ron, what do you got?
All right. So, was this better than the past 3? Yes. This has probably been the best one that we've watched so far, which again, like I said at the beginning, is a very low bar to beat. So it's not like it's leaping any hurdles here or anything. Would I watch it again? No, probably not. Would I recommend it to people to watch? Depends on how much I dislike them. But it also wasn't as bad as the other ones. And there were some parts that were entertaining. And I am going to give it a 3.45.
All right. Okay, that leaves me. And I agree. Like this, I had a little more fun with this one than the last. But, well, definitely more than the first one. Definitely more than the last one. I think for me, like I said when we watched Wrath of Khan, like I remember Wrath of Khan a lot. I remember Search for Spock a lot. I remember Voyage Home a lot. The 3 of these movies together are ones that I've seen a lot when I was younger. And it, watching this time again, watching with new eyes and actually like trying to study it, I did have fun with it. It was entertaining. Like I said earlier, I felt like the storyline was better, and the acting wasn't great, but like the story, I actually understood what they were trying to do for the most part. Like a lot of it was still like the whole time travel thing is wonky, but similar to what you had complained about, Ron, in episode 2 or part 2 about a storyline from the show that we didn't have, wasn't given a lot of context here. Their version or their way of time traveling is just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna time travel because we know how. It wasn't fully explained, and that was kind of sucked. Either way, though, I still enjoyed it. Like I said, not as much as I did Wrath of Khan, but more than Search for Spock. So I'm giving it a 5.34, which gives us a combined score of 4.65, which ties it at number 97 out of 145 movies. Ties it with Ultimate Avengers, the movie from 2006, the animated movie, which is still just behind the Punisher from 1989 at a 4.68.
I'd probably watch that before.
That's because it's over it. So yes, you.
Oh, I thought you said just behind. I thought you said
just above.
Just behind it.
Well, it's just behind Punisher. Yes,
okay,
but it's just above Masters of the Universe at a 4.63.
Oh, that's a tough call.
So yeah, what you're saying is that it's in a good spot.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
No, if I'm gonna apply the Janero continuum to this, I'm putting on Masters of the Universe to make fun of it with my friends. I'm not doing that with
That's got more make fun of ability. Is that the word? I don't know. It's easier to make fun of Masters than it is this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's good stuff.
So yeah. That's all we got.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on all the interwebs at Chris Balga. I got a lovely show, Marvel Alliance and the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. You can catch every Thursday night at 9:10 Eastern Standard Time live on the Geekverse Podcast YouTube channel, or you can just simply search for Marvel Alliance on your podcatchers of choice. And then on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, check me out on the Brave and the Boys channel, where we do the Organic Price Books Weekly Buyer's Guide.
I dare say the Geek Ultimate Alliance is putting out, if I could use a correct scientific term, a copious amount of content.
We do.
There's so much to consume over there, so head over there and check them out. You can of course find me Kicked Out of the Hood, No Ian Kicked on social media. You can find my hobby page where I'm painting miniatures at Kicked Out of the Hobby, No Ian Kicked. And of course, you can find me at the end of the month with Joey, where we're doing Getting Franchised, our once a month review show of the latest and greatest franchises and movies and potentially other stuff. But we have been ripping through a horror. I forgot that's what we called it.
Yeah.
Where we're, every month we're reviewing the latest and greatest of horror movie franchises. We are set to release.
The fourth one will be coming out by the time this episode drops. The fourth episode, which I can't remember what we covered, will be coming out in 2 days. What did the fourth one was?
Oh, Candyman.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So the original 92 and then the 2021? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It got released during COVID. So
yeah.
Spoilers, we liked one better than the other.
I don't know if it's a spoiler anymore.
Tune in to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the spoiler is which one was it? I'm not going to tell you. Yeah.
But if you don't tell us, then it's not a spoiler.
All right, Rod, where the fuck can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at Good at This Game on Instagram and TikTok and Blue Sky. You can find my art on Instagram at Good Art This Game. And you can also find my Instagram on our shirts on TeePublic and Redbubble.
Yes, but also find your art on your shirt, you mean? Not Instagram on our shirt?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Look, words are hard. I was trying to give Chuck something to give me shit about, but you ruined it.
I gave you shit for it. Sorry.
No, because I love you, Ron. All right,
I love
and
you too.
I'm not
And
gonna
that's
let
why
your
I correct
dyslexia to
you.
be made fun of. Okay,
Listen,
it's
if I
fun.
don't correct you, other people will make fun of you, Chuck. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help.
Thanks.
At least I didn't bring up
Anyway.
your dad.
Okay. You know who did though?
You.
Me. I did. I'm my own worst enemy.
Look, somebody had to bring him up, right?
Well, he's not going to surface himself, that's for sure. Joe,
Anyway,
where can they find you?
find the show on.
I swear
all the
it's
socials.
Chris. Like, there's something about Chris that just brings out the worst in us, and I can't figure it out.
Hey, look, at least your dad has more of a chance of surfacing than Joey and I's do.
That is, you know what? That's super fair. Good point. You know, you
Mine
got
could
me there.
surface. He's sitting on a shelf somewhere.
I guess yeah, it's true. Mine is
wow.
also.
Yeah.
That way, that way we didn't have to worry about him coming back during the zombie apocalypse, us having to take that heart-wrenching second to be like, Dad, and then getting bit. We can just shoot all the zombies because no, it's not going to be it. Oh.
Anyway, you guys can find the show on social media, all the socials. Eventually, I might start posting on there again. Who knows? You can email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. You can rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice. If you do, we'll read it on an upcoming episode. We've got merch, like Ron said, over at Redbubble and TeePublic. Also, along with getting a franchise at the end of the month, every last Sunday of the month. Comic Book Rundown is back at every Friday, the final Friday of the month. I think this month. What am I doing this month? I don't know what I'm doing this month. Maybe a Marvel movie. Marvel. No, actually, it'd be a DC one. Whatever. I'm doing something. And then our song was done by Cam, formerly known as the Father Doctor.
Yeah.
Mm,
What's
I think
our
I got
next
this true.
Oh, our next movie. Okay.
Oh God.
Like I said, this is one I've never seen. Don't know if Chuck, I feel like you might, maybe Ron might have seen this, but probably not. It's a movie called Black Scorpion.
I've never heard of that.
Okay.
Oh, I know. Wait. I know this movie. Why do I know this movie?
I don't know why you know this movie. There was a TV series. I think this was a made-for-TV movie. There's two of them, so we're hitting the first one now. I think the second one will hit in.
Is it a girl in like a dominatrix suit with
Kinda?
a mask?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Wait a second.
Ron, get ready. Ron,
Okay.
get super hyped.
Wait. Didn't you just send us something that had to do with that?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I believe I sent a screenshot. I said, "Holy shit, we have to watch this."
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yes, that's it. That's what we're watching.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay,
This
I was
actually
a
might
little
win you
worried.
back a strike, Joey.
But I've got no strikes.
he might.
It's
I have
no
strikes.
good. It's not good. It's not good. I don't.
No.
It's gonna be bad. Yeah.
But
no.
we have fun with the bad ones. So
Oh,
Very true.
you're getting a strike for sure.
Oh,
but
damn
I'm super hyped about it. Like,
that you're confusing me, Chuck. I don't know how
I
to
know.
feel.
I know. It's okay. It's
Okay.
all on how you waste my time, Joe.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Chris, thank you for showing up. We really appreciate this.
As always.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Later.
And Chris too. It's time for Scooby.